Hey guys, it's Maymay, and guess what time it is? It is time to do an As Many As series with this paper pack. This one is called Merry and Bright. I'm going to do as many as I can here, and the only thing I'm going to add extra are these ephemera. I thought this would be cool. Now let me take that back. The only thing I'm going to add extra that's not in my stash. This is something that I pulled from the store, so I would have this to match this, and then I'll probably use some stash stuff too. You know how that works. But the idea is I'm going to make as many as I can from this, and just see where we go. You guys seem to love these series, and it's where I'm going to make cards or tags or both. I feel like I might do both from this, so you can kind of see how both work, but we'll see. So the first thing I have to do is I have to look through the paper pack because I have to kind of acclimate myself with what's happening here, right? So this page is a good background page. This is a pretty background page. Okay, this page I need to pull out, and the reason is I like to dissect these guys as I get going. So I'm going to put this to the side, and we're going to dissect that in a second. Look at this gorgeous page. Oh my goodness. Now I do want to tell you something. I am going to try to get as many as I can, but I don't think I'm going to try to get like every single one I can get out of it. I really want to try to do these a little more detailed than I have in the past. We'll see how that goes. In the past, I've really kind of stretched the paper pad as far as I could, but I kind of want to do a little more this time. This is really cute. I'm not going to use this for cards. This says Merry and Bright. I could use it. This says Merry Christmas to You. I could use it. So some of these images I will probably use for cards, but these numbered images I probably won't use. But I am going to put it aside to deconstruct it. Is deconstruct the word? To dissect it. That's the word. So these are beautiful. I also love that this paper pack has the foil, so I'll be able to get kind of a fancy look. These I'm definitely going to take apart. Look at these little guys. Oh, they're so cute. And plaid. It always gets me a plaid. Love this. Gonna take this apart. Sometimes I mess myself up by taking this apart early, so I may not take this apart right now, but I know I will eventually, so it goes that way. And then there's that, and then stickers. Now, I kind of thought about something this year a little different. Because I'm not trying to make 100 cards from this pack, I'm not trying to I usually get about between 30 and 50 cards from a pack. I thought this year what I might do is kind of design some cards using these stickers first and then do some cards with the leftovers. So let these kind of be my focus. So I'm going to put these aside for a minute while I break these other ones down. So this guy and a paper slicer. So I know that these guys can be card fronts or they can be tags. Like I know I can use these easily anywhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut all these guys apart. These particular pieces of paper in paper packs used to be my least favorite. I used to think, well, those are just wasted because I'm not a scrapbooker and I thought I couldn't use them. But then I started to realize that these are instant card fronts. And I was like, wait a minute, this is a game changer for me. Because now that I can take these and put them as the focal point of a card, then I know I'm going to get ever how many of these straight away off of the paper. And what I mean by that is some pages are going to have less cut aparts and some are going to have more. With this one, I've got 12, so I know that's 12 card fronts. Except maybe this. I may need to add something to it, but even that's gorgeous by itself. So there's those cut apart. And that's the first step, just dissecting. Now, in previous videos, you will see that I really stretch these paper pads, and I love doing that. But I have so many of those videos for you guys. You can go and look. I'll do a playlist. I'll put them in the description below. That I thought, you know what, this year I'm going to play and do a little more on my cards than I normally do. I just thought that'd be fun because, like I said, usually I'm stretching this paper pack, and this year I think I'm just going to see what I get by using what I got. I don't know where we're going to go with it. I want to do a little more work this year. Why? I don't know. I don't have time for more work, but I want to do a little more. These are so cute. Okay, so there's those. These pieces, you can totally use these pieces on cards. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to deconstruct it while I'm here. So I'm just going to cut this down and just go ahead and get this piece ready because you just never know where I might want to use it as an accent piece. So there's that one. All right, let's break the other ones down. So the way I've broken this page down, this is that Advent page. I cut all the numbers separate. So here's all my numbers. And then what I did here was I put all the other little pieces that were the photos or the little images over here in my pile. And I even got that strip in case I want it. I have an idea for a Advent using these. If you guys want to see it, let me know in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up and I'll know that you want to see that one as well. All right, let's break this one down. And I want to show you something you might want to do. So this little strip has a little white edge that you might not want. I'll show you because I haven't been cutting it away. See how it's got that little white edge right there? And that's a little hard to cut off once we've cut this down to this little tiny piece. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and cut that away while I've got it in my trimmer. So I'm just going to line this up where I can cut right to the top. So now you see I don't have that little white edge anymore. It's left on the page here and it's much easier to cut away this way. So now I'm just going to slice it off of here and I've gotten rid of it. That's just kind of fiddly, but if that piece bothers you and you want to be able to cut it away real easy, that's the way to do it. So let me go ahead and trim this out. I never normally use these. I always say you can if you want to use them and I never do, but I don't know. We'll see. Something different, right? Now for this page, I'm going to wait. I feel like sometimes I want these two strips together. Sometimes I might want 3 or 4 strips together. So I'm going to wait to cut this apart. I'm just going to know that I have this available to me. I'll probably run these across cards. I think that'll be really cute like that, but we'll get to that. All right, well, let me show you this then. Now that we've done all that dissecting, here we have these pieces that are perfect for bigger cards. You see what I'm saying? These are perfect for 5x7s. Matter of fact, these should be 4x6. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm just going to hit a ruler on it. 4x6. So can you imagine this on a 5x7 card? How pretty this will be. So that is instant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5x7s. This one I'll need to add something to, but I'll probably have a stamp that I could put inside there and make look really pretty. So we'll put those aside, and I know where those are going. These little guys are perfect for A2 size because these should be 3x4. And they are, and they're perfect for that. All I want to do is mat them. I like to kind of mat them, maybe pop them up, and maybe come up with a design for the card. The first thing I want to do is make sure everything, this one will need a stamp, put that one aside. I want to make sure everything is in the same orientation. And it looks to be. Sometimes in your card packs, you'll have them going portrait and some will go landscape, even on the same page. So you just want to check that. This one will need something else. This one will not, and this one will not. So they all go in this direction. So the good thing about that is when I design this card, all I have to do is design the card going in this direction, and all of these can be made the same way. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're making all your cards the same way. I always like to say this because not everyone gets the same card. You know what I'm saying? Even if you make 10 exact cards, you're not sending them to the same person, so they don't have to be everyone different. They're still handmade and unique by you. These I don't know how I'm going to use. Put those aside. All right, these little guys, these are really cute if you want to do one of those cards that has kind of the 3 little focal points in them. So I'm going to lay these out and see if that will work. I want to measure this width. And that will work if I do it on a 5x7. I can do the little 3 across because this is 7 inches. It takes up almost 7 inches. But wouldn't that be cute to have the little 3 pieces across in the middle of the card? And if I do that, I can get 1, 2, 3. I can get 3 cards in that orientation. And then I just have these 2 left over. And you know what? How cute would this Santa be mounted right on there? Pretty cute. I think so. Okay, so that gives me a couple of ideas. Plus, I still have these strips I can use somewhere. So let's start working on getting some card bases together. So I'm going to be using this alabaster cardstock from Brutus Monroe for my card bases. And I'm going to work on my 5x7 cards first. I know I can get those made. So I've pulled out the cardstock. Now this is the reason I'm not a big fan of making 5x7 cards. I like to use 1 piece of cardstock to get 2 card bases. For this, I can't do that. However, I'm going to go ahead and make these larger cards now because I'll have all these little scraps left over that I can probably put into use in other cards as we get going. So I'm going to cut these down to 10x7. That way when I fold it in half, I'll have a 5x7 card. So this is a base for a 5x7, and when I cut that from an 8.5x11, I'm left with this. Again, usable, totally usable. I can use this throughout the whole process. You just want to kind of keep these handy so you can get to them. But that's the reason I don't love to do a 5x7. And let me show you why. If I was doing an A2 card with that same, and I'm going to do some A2, so I'm going to go ahead and cut one to show you. But if I'm doing an A2 card with that same 8.5x11 piece of cardstock, I can put this in my trimmer. I can cut it at 5.5. And this becomes 2 card bases with no waste. Does that make sense? I think it does. But again, I have the opportunity in this pack to make these 5x7s very easy, so I'm going to do it. Now I need to score these. I'm going to use my large scoreboard for this, and I want to score these in half at 5 inches because that makes it a 5x7 card. Now this particular cardstock is super thick. This is Brutus Monroe 100-pound cardstock. It's very, very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make multiple passes. I'm going to go over the 5-inch mark slowly first so I can get a nice even score, okay? And then I'm going to do it again a couple of times because I want to get a really nice score in that thick, thick cardstock. I'm not going to fold it yet because I want to stamp inside of these, so I don't want to fold that just yet. That's another thing. I haven't always stamped inside the cards, but we have a stamp that we created this year that I'm really in love with and have not got to use enough. And I think it's perfect for these big old cards like this. So I'm going to be using it on the inside of these guys. So something I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to fold my 5x7 card bases, and I'm going to fold them with the inside facing out. And that's because I want to stamp them. And I'm using this stamp. I'll show you on the packaging what it looks like. It's this one that says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I love how big it is, and it's going to be so pretty inside the card because it's going to be full like that. I'm going to use VersaFine Claire Green Oasis. I think that'll be cool for Christmas. So I got this out. I need to get my rubber banded out. This is my rubber banded. I have a video where I made this, so if you want to see that, we'll link that for you. I'm just going to sit it to the side so I can just put my ink off to the side because I'm going to be inking all 6 of these guys. And I'm using my Misty because this is a big stamp. It's a bold image stamp, and I want to be sure I get a good image in every one of these cards. So I'm just kind of hedging my bets. I'm being safe and using something I know I can stamp. You know, if I don't get a good image the first time, I can re-stamp it. See how it looks? Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, so my stamp had a little something on it that I missed. Or either this paper had something on it. It could have been something on the paper. So what I'm going to do is just ink that up again. Actually, let me wipe that off to make sure it wasn't here. I think it was that thing I just picked up off my paper. So I'm going to ink this section up again. I don't need all of it because everything else did fine. Then I'm going to put this back over and get that little spot. Good deal. So there's the inside of one done. So now I got the insides of all of these done. So now I'm going to crease them down correctly. And I did not crease them when I turned them the other way. I didn't want to train it to go the opposite way. So you can see how it's just barely closed. I just did it like this and put it into my Misty. So now what I want to do is crease it down really nice. So these are ready for fronts. And this is what I was going to use these guys for. So I just need to decide how I want to lay these out on each one of the fronts. And I'm going to kind of evaluate them one at a time. I think that's the way to go. I love this one. I think I'm going to look at my sticker sheet for this one. And what I do, probably like all of you guys do, I just kind of take one off the pack and hold it to see. Oh, that's really cute right there. Okay, so that's probably a good one. Let's keep looking. This snowman might be precious. He is precious. I just don't know if he'll be, oh, he's cute there too. All right, so we got 2 options. This is what happens. We build up all these options. Let's look at Santa Claus. He's cute there too, but I think I like one of those options better. So we'll put him back. And we're going to need something underneath it. So let's look and see what we're running underneath it well. This is cute. Making Spirits Bright. That's cute. Okay, we'll keep that one off for a second. I kind of really like that sleigh. Gosh, there's a lot of options, but I'm going to find just the right one. So after looking at the stickers, I pulled off the sleigh, and I think it's so adorable. And I'm thinking I can use these that look like packages. This cracker is very big, but if I stick him down like that, and then I put this one here, but I want the pink one in front of it because I want this bow to show out of the pink one. I can kind of stack this up and get kind of a full sleigh effect. Whoops, didn't quite get that one stuck down. Of packages, and that is so cute. Isn't that cute? So we made this full sleigh. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to put these guys, I don't know, I probably could use them both. Let's see how it looks. Nope, don't like it. Let's see what it looks like with the snowman. Nope, not the right one. I'm just going to use the sleigh, so I'm going to lay that there just like this, and then we'll put these guys back on my sticker sheet. This is how I decide. And the cool thing about these is because they're chipboard, they're easy to put back on your sticker sheets. Not chipboard, because they're cardstock, they're easy to put back on your sticker sheets. Okay, a little foam, because I want to pop this up. So I got the backer off of all of my little foam tape there. And now this is going to go right in this area. That is so cute. Sometimes I don't like these pieces that have the space I have to design in. Sometimes it kind of stresses me out. But today, I think it's cute. And I'm going to stick that one down without any height. That's adorable. I love how that turned out. Look how cute that is. Love it. Okay, so that can go on the front of a card, but it needs a matte. Because you know how I am. I like to have a little matte finish around it. So let me see what paper I'm going to use for that. So I've decided to use a black matte. I think that really brings a lot of elegance to the cards when you have that little bit of black. Look how that's going to pop on the page. And I could add another pattern paper around if I wanted to. I typically don't with these. I typically just put these just like this. So let's stack this guy up using some art glitter glue. Now, I made this one with you because this is the only one that I had to kind of decorate the little white circle. The rest of them are already decorated for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to matte them just like this. I may not use black on every one. I may kind of decide to use a different color on each one depending on how they look. But this is how the front of the cards are going to look for the 5x7s. So I'm just going to do the rest just like I do this one. And then we'll get right back together. Has anybody noticed that every year when I do this how many card video, I tend to have the sniffles? It seems like this is the time of year I get the sniffles. So I got them again, so I apologize if my voice is strange. So there it is. So there's the outside. Let's open it up. Look at that. How cute, right? Super easy to make. Let's make some more. And for fun, for the first time, I'm using my Brutus Monroe sticky tape. I think this will be a good place to try it out and see what I think. So I'm going to pop up these bigger panels. Let me cut some of this off. And I'm going to run some down here. So this will be a little thicker of a pop than I normally put because this is 1/8 of an inch thick. Or what I usually use is a 1/16 of an inch thick. So this is what I would normally get when I double things. Let's take this off and just peel that away like that. I need another little strip right there. Stick that one down. Now I can add this to my layer. This stuff is sticky. You need your pokey tool to get that backer off. It is for real. Okay, so move these so I don't confuse you. So I'm going to stick this down to here, just like that. So see how much thicker that is? It's higher up. I think that's pretty. I think that's going to look good on my card. So here we go. There's card number 1 in 5x7. Number 2 in 5x7. Isn't that cute? Number 3 in 5x7. Number 4 in 5x7. Number 5 and number 6. So we got 6 cards, super easy, all stamped on the inside, all ready to go. And now we can see what's next. So the next thing I'm going to start on are my A2 size cards. So I'm going to go ahead and cut myself some A2 card bases. But before I make the cut, I'm going to score them to save myself some time. Now, if I want to do portrait style cards, in other words, if I want them to be tall cards like this, then I would score in the middle at 5.5. But if I want them to be shorter cards where I cut them down the middle, then I'm going to score down the middle of the page. We'll do a little of each, so I'll show you what I mean. So if I take this page and I put it in the long way of my scoreboard and I score it at 4.25, so I scored it the long way down. Let me flip it over so you can see the score line. See that? I scored it all the way down the page, okay? That's one way, but I can also take it and put it in the long way this way in my scoreboard, and I can score it here at 5.5. This cardstock is so thick that I take my time or I'll jump the lines if I don't. So this way, when I cut this in half, my score line will already be there too. I'll show you that when we get to the cutting part. Okay, so I have two pieces of cardstock with two different orientations of score. One is there in the middle, and then one is here in the middle, so long and short. So here's what we're going to do. If we have the one that we scored in the middle on the short side, what I'm going to do is take this piece of cardstock, put it into my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it at 4.25. So this will give me two cards scored this way in this orientation, okay? On the other one, because I have it going the long way, I'm going to cut it at 5.5, just like so. And now this will give me two cards with this sort of scoring orientation. Make sense? Okay, so basically you're just going to cut across your score mark wherever you had it laid out. So like this one, I don't want to cut with the score mark, I want to cut against it. So this is 4.25. You don't have to do this way. You can just do each one individually. That's fine. I just sometimes like to save time, and scoring all at one time is kind of a really good lifesaver. Keeps you from having to do every single card. So score 6 times instead of 12 times. And the last one, just remember, if you're doing it this way, every time you cut, you should be cutting across your score mark. That's what I'm doing here, and that's how I'm getting my card bases. Now the next thing I've done is I've gone through the paper pack and I've found a piece of paper that will match every single one of these cutouts. I got real lucky with this one. I feel like this background page matches all of these cut aparts, and I think it's because these trees kind of have all of the colors from the paper pack in it, so you can see here how those all match. Then I went online and found a design that I kind of liked. I just went on Pinterest and found a layout that I liked. I'm going to adjust it a little bit, but we're going to do this for our card itself. So the first thing I want to do is I want to mat all of these pieces here, and I'm going to mat them, I think, in black. So because these guys are 3 by 4, I want to cut my cardstock here 3.25 by 4.25 because I just want a 1/16 of an inch showing around the edge of my little pieces. While I'm trimming, I'm going to go ahead and trim this page. So I'm going to cut away the little designer strip at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get myself those snowflakes off of there in case I want to use them later. I'm just keeping these off to the side just in case they come in handy. Now from this paper, I'm going to cut some strips that are 2 inches wide. So I'm just going to run down and cut the whole page at 2 inches to start with. And I've decided to cut these down to 5.5. But had I thought about that in the beginning, I would have just cut an inch strip off of my 12-inch wide so I could just cut these in half and be done with it. But I was still deciding the size. But if you're doing this, go ahead and just cut your page down to give yourself 2 5.5-inch long strips and then cut that into 2 2-inch strips. And that will make it even easier. But for me, because I didn't know for sure what length I was going to make them, I have this little inch piece that I'm going to get every time. Now I want to mat those same strips in black just like I'm doing the little sentiment pieces. So now I need to cut some 2.25-inch strips. Let's don't go this way, let's go this way. 2.25 by 5.5. So here's where I'm at. I've got my sentiment pieces and my little mats for them. So I'm going to glue those together just like that. And then I've got my strips and my mats for them, and I'm going to glue that together as well. And what will happen is I'll have a little bit of black on either side, which is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to run through and glue all these together. So for this one and this one, I'm going to need to put a sentiment on here. So I'm going back to my stickers, and this one that says Merry Christmas to You, I think that'll be really cute right here, right underneath the reindeer. So I can just stick that down, and that one's ready to go. This one, I wanted to use one of the small images, and I think I picked one out a while ago, but now I forgot what it was. So let me look through here really quick. I thought it was the Santa. Oh, this is cute on there. That's really cute. Merry and Bright is really cute. I like that one. And oh, this green one is really pretty. Let's look at it too. I think I like the red one best, so I'm going to put the red one on, but I'm going to do it with a little bit of foam tape. And I'm going back and forth between Scotty and Christopher's tape, and the reason is different places need different heights, and this card is going to be pretty thick because of the mats that I put on. So I'm going to use the thinner or the smaller foam tape on this one so it doesn't pop up quite so much. All right, now let's assemble a card, and you'll see how this is going to go. So this is one of my scored card bases. I'm going to fold this and then crease it. Now, a lot of my Christmas cards, I don't stamp the inside of them until I need them, and I don't write on them until I need them. So these smaller cards, I'm leaving blank. I don't know how much space I might need in the card, so we're leaving it blank. But here's how this card's going to lay out. So this will go to this side, and then this is going to go right here, and it's either going to be centered or to the top or to the bottom. I may mix them up, I may do them all the same, but that's how I'm going to lay this card out. So I'm just going to go through and glue all of these down. And again, I considered using foam squares for this. However, this cardstock I've used is pretty thick cardstock, so I really don't want to add any more to it. So that works. Look how pretty that is. Adding those black borders really add some graphic details. Very pretty. So there you go, guys. 6 5x7 Christmas cards, 12 A2 size cards, and all we've done is use the cut-aparts and one piece of designer paper. That's it. We did use some extra trim pieces and things like that, but pretty easy so far. Now, if you're following along or if you're making along, I want to see what you're doing. Share with us over on our customer gallery at maymaymadeit.com, or tag us anywhere on social media. Just tag us with Maymay Made It, and I'll know that you're posting pictures, and I'll get to see them. I love to see what you guys are doing. All right, so this is part 1. In part 2, we'll do something else. I don't know what yet. I'm still deciding, but we'll get there and we'll see what part 2 entails. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.